one of the new people to your town. I am the minister at the Unitarian Universal Society in Oneonta. I had the pleasure of being called to serve them in the summer of 2009, moved here from Wisconsin. I was amazed at the beauty of this area and the people who call it home. And my wife and I quickly fell in love with this place and want to put down roots here. I spent my first year wandering around this area and enjoying the rivers and the parks and the woods. On one of those far-off wanderings, we found ourselves down in Pennsylvania, walking along a river. We were assaulted, our noses first, by the smell, and then the sight of drilling sites along this river in one of their parks. There were vast swaths of vegetation missing, gone, dying, dead, replaced by ugly mud of discolored sorts with huge tire tracks baked into them. The smell left us faint, and there was site after site along this river. That was my introduction to drilling in this area, and I was appalled. But I came back, and I know that there are people in this area who are struggling financially. I know there are people who are faced with dire consequences. And so I've tried to keep an open mind, and I've tried to investigate on my own for the last 2.5 years. And what I have discovered on my own, from my own opinion, is that we do have a responsibility to our fellow citizens and the financial straits that they are in. But sacrificing our environment, sacrificing our future for our children, is not the way to do that. I've come from a state where I've heard corporations tell us things were safe. I've been the victim of it myself with my parents' property when the water bottlers came in and assured us that their business would not detract and would not affect the environment. And I watched as the pond on my parents' land dried up, dry as a bone. I watched Lake Michigan lower in its water table, and the businesses harmed along the sides. All the while, the people who were selling our natural resources saying, we have nothing to do with this. I'm sorry, but I don't believe them. I also don't believe the corporations now who tell us that this is safe. There are too many incidents across the country. The flammable water in Pennsylvania, the earthquakes in Ohio and in Europe. I urge you to not put those interests ahead of the interests of our children and our future and this area that we all call home. There are other ways to help our fellow citizens. Please pass the moratorium. Thank you.